All right, you want to lose 30 pounds in 90 days? Yeah, I bet. Who doesn't? You want to do it and you want it to be extremely easy, of course. I can do this, I can make this happen, I can even show you, but the reality is, you know you, and I have a feeling I know you too. But anyway, welcome to Walk Talk Vent. Let's do this. Hi guys, welcome back. Listen, today we're going to be visiting with Kristen Yarker. She's a YouTuber that I think you're going to love. She helps people that are dealing with cravings. Have you been trying like crazy to quit sugar and it's maybe not as easy as I kind of make it out to be? I apologize for that. Kristen has some really good advice for you, so I'm going to pipe down and let's listen to what she has to say.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're not liking how you're feeling, not liking how you're looking, so you decide, okay, I need to make some changes to my eating. Decide what changes you're going to make, and you get started with those changes. You're working away on those, and sure, you got it nailed. You're making it happen for a couple of months, or maybe a couple of weeks, or maybe a couple of days. And then you slip. You fall off the wagon and return back to the same old way you've been eating. But here's what I see is the crux, the problem with what's going on. It's all or nothing thinking. Yeah, all or nothing thinking. Changing, big swooping changes, radical changes. Sure, they make for entertaining TV. I get you with that. But that's not how real change is made in our real lives. What the behavior change research shows is that small changes, incremental changes that you stick with, build up over time, and that's what makes lasting lifestyle change.
Amen. Kristen, thank you for saying that. I am so glad she said that, gang. Listen, what we've been trying to implement is kind of along these same lines that are designed for success. We're going to start with a 10-minute walk, right? We're going to progress to a 20-minute walk. And now many of you are doing the full 30 minutes, and sometimes you even do more. Occasionally, you guys are even pumping in some extra credit. On the other side, maybe right now you're at 3 sodas a day. If we can slowly cut that down to two, one, and then maybe someday even get to the point where you don't have any daily, but maybe you have one a month as a treat, right? These are things we can do.
I know it doesn't sound super sexy, but it really is because it's what takes you to be that person, that lifestyle that you really want to have. Let me paint you a picture of what all or nothing thinking looks like, because sometimes it can be hard to spot. So it might be something like, okay, you know you're eating like no vegetables, and so you're going to decide, yep, I'm going to eat 8 servings of vegetables every single day. You're going from nothing to all. Another one might be something like, I'm going to, I eat takeout, I order takeout like 5 days a week. I'm going to do 0. No more takeout after Saturday. All or nothing right there. How about something like, I'm eating too much sugar, I am quitting sugar tomorrow. All or nothing. So instead, start small. If you're looking to eat more vegetables, say, okay, starting tomorrow at dinner, I'm going to choose 1 single serving of vegetables. You work those vegetables at dinner until that seems easy, and then you go up to the next serving. Or maybe you want to get rid of that sugar, and so you say, okay, what I'm going to do is no longer go to the coffee shop every morning at break time, because I know I go to the coffee shop and I always get a pastry or a donut with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bringing my own coffee to work and a piece of fruit. You don't worry about the rest of the day. You're just working about that coffee break 5 days a week. That's going to have a huge dent in your sugar intake. And then once that becomes routine, then you look at, okay, when is the next time that I'm consistently having sugar? And that's what you focus on.
So one of my favorite things to do is to find YouTubers that really give down to earth advice. Doesn't that sound like something we all can do, right? And you can apply this to more than just diet and weight loss, right? You can apply this to, man, I am stressing out about A, B, C, and D. Maybe you can make it where you give yourself times during the day where you just zone off and don't stress about a thing. There's so many ways you can implement this. If you are working on baby stepping anything, let me know down in the comments.
Step by step. This is how you make real lasting change. So, where is a place that you've been trying to do all or nothing thinking, and you're going to commit now to making one small change?
Oh my goodness, what have I done?
That blended together so well. So, the second YouTuber that we're going to enjoy today, her channel is named Tressa Loses Weight. This is Tressa. She's a nurse. Her goal is to lose 100 pounds. But what she wanted to do was she wanted to give herself a 2 week challenge on quitting sugar, right? She ends up doing this challenge. She ends up extending it into a month. And I thought it would be fun to kind of watch how her month went with you guys.
Hi there, I'm Tressa, and I need to lose 100 pounds. And that's what I'm going to do. Today marks day one of my weight loss journey to lose 100 pounds. My current weight is 272.9 pounds. Oh. And like I said, I need to lose 100 pounds, and I'm going to do it. One thing that I'm going to do to give my weight loss a jump start is a sugar challenge, a no sugar challenge for 2 weeks. Now, I'm a hardcore sugar addict. I consume a ton of sugar. Okay, this is what I ate pretty much every day, at least.
So I'm super duper glad she showed this. If you look at all the different things that she's consuming during the day, she is having a lot of sugar in these different areas. So imagine this was you, right? You've got a lot of sugar in your coffee, you've got a lot of sugar in your daily candy bar, you've got your daily cake that you have right before you go to bed, right? If you just start off slowly by maybe getting rid of one of those three things, maybe cutting down the sugar in the coffee, maybe increasing your water intake, combining it with a walk. Oh, I know. I sound like a broken record, right? But that's what you guys are doing. That's what's so exciting about this.
6 days a week. So every morning I would have a sugary coffee. I looked it up. There's 51 grams in that coffee. The scone had 20 grams. The candy bar that I eat every day has 20 grams. And the mug cake that I absolutely eat every night as my little snack, which I thought wasn't so bad, has 50 grams of sugar in it. So just those four things alone is 141 grams of sugar. And now that's not counting the normal food I eat. Ketchup has sugar, other things have sugar. Being a nurse during this pandemic has been very stressful, and the community is so supportive and rallying around us that we get sent a lot of food. Donuts, cookies, chocolate croissants, almost every day for the last year. And so I know I've been eating another treat in there somewhere. I just didn't include that because it changes. So like donuts, cookies, those things are.
They don't talk about your food audit anymore, but if you think about it, I want you to just think about mentally what you were eating. And if you actually did write down your food audit for a week, look at it. Have you changed that at all? Because if you're changing it for the better, bravo, keep doing those things. And if you haven't been changing it, change them right away or start to.
Added to there. Now, the American Heart Association says a woman should have 25 grams of sugar a day. And I was eating well over 141 grams of sugar a day. So this is going to be a challenge. All right, no sugar for 2 weeks. Let's do it. Oh my goodness, what have I done? My head is throbbing so bad. I feel like crap. I can't even get out of bed. I feel so crappy. What on earth? Why does lettuce have freaking sugar in it? Ugh. All right, day 4, no sugar. And I do feel a little bit better, but I am feeling a little bit tired, weak, and still a tad bit of a headache. Hopefully this is the last day I have the headache. The headache is kind of crazy. I also just don't feel like myself. I still just feel kind of crappy overall. I don't know how else to explain it other than I just don't feel good.
So when I quit sugar, I might mentally feel a little sad when I walk by the donuts, right? But I don't really feel physically crappy from it. If you're quitting sugar or if you've been off the sugar for a while, did you have these withdrawals? And if so, maybe you could let us know in the comments.
one thing I was looking through my cupboards here, I found this mug cake. Now, usually I have one of these every night before bed or in the evening as a snack. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm doing pretty good. I'm not eating a piece of cake. I'm not eating half a cake. I'm just having a little mug treat. Well, when I looked at the back, this little sucker has 50 grams of sugar in it. 50! Thankfully, this is the last one. I'm going to have to take it to work and donate it to somebody. Otherwise, I'm going to eat it. All right, day 7, 1 week without sugar. I feel a lot better today. Actually, today was my weigh-in day, and I am down 5.5 pounds in 1 week. Yes. And the other thing I'm noticing that I'm not even really craving food that much. Prior to this last week, I was constantly hungry, so I was eating all the time.
So that was the overall secret that I was hoping some of you guys would start noticing, but I don't know if any of you guys fully shut off the sugar yet. When you stop eating sugar, you get to the point where the other foods in the world are almost dull and boring. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love eating, our dinners and our entrees right along with the dessert, right? But you don't necessarily crave those the way you do sweet stuff. So if you all of a sudden get rid of sweets, a lot of times you wake up in the morning and you just don't crave the oatmeal. So you're able to go longer. And I wanted you guys to start experiencing that. If some of you are, please let us know.
So cutting out the sugar, I don't know, I don't have food cravings. I'm not hungry, which is just amazing to me. I thought I would be starving, but the exact opposite has occurred. I'm curious to see how the next week goes. Today is day 14. I actually did it. I actually quit sugar for 2 weeks. I'm feeling really good. And I lost weight too. Check this out. You can see here my starting weight was 272.9. My week 1 weight loss was 267.4 pounds for a total of 5.5 pounds lost. Today I weighed 263.8 for a total weight loss this week of 3.6 pounds. I have lost 9.1 pounds in the last 2 weeks. This makes me so happy. I am so excited.
That's still kind of a little unrealistic. Like if you do those exact same things, are you going to lose 9 pounds in 2 weeks? No, for some reason, YouTubers are able to like get amazing numbers up. I don't know how, on my latest weigh-in myself, I think I gained 2 pounds, so I'm kind of back up to 180. So that means that for the first month, I basically lost what, 4 pounds, maybe five. But that's kind of where I'm used to being. This has more of an effect when you start getting into the second month. And right now, she's just going into week 3. So let's see how she goes moving forward because she decided to keep it going.
And I'm so grateful. Okay, I'm going to say the words I never thought I would utter ever. I enjoy a low sugar diet. I enjoy a no sugar diet. Interesting. The fact that I feel good is 100% motivating. The fact that I'm losing weight, absolutely motivating. The fact that I feel so much energy, the midday slumps that I would get during the day where I just felt like I just had no energy, those are gone in just 2 little weeks. I can't believe that. I'm going to do the no sugar for 2 more weeks. And one of the main reasons is my womanly monthly visitor is due to pay a visit here in the next week. And I really want to see how my body responds to that. That time of the month for me is typically shoveling as much food as I can in, craving sugar, craving salty foods. So I'm really curious to see if me staying with that low sugar curbs those cravings during that time of the month when my hormones are all over the place.
I don't know if it affects your hormone cycle or if your hormone cycle affects, wanting to eat more. If you feel like it does, maybe you can mention that in the comments. She did say something that I thought was telling. She said, I really love craving sweets when I'm on my period, but I also love craving the salts. I firmly believe that when you eat a bunch of sugar, you almost want to wash your mouth out with something that tastes sour or salty, right? And when you're eating salty Doritos, right, all of a sudden you want to finish that off with something that's sweet like ice cream. And it ends up being this like, snowball effect. here she is going into her first month. So we saw how she lost 9 pounds 2 weeks in.
I gave up sugar for 30 days. Was it worth it? Hi there, I'm Tressa. If you're a friend and returning to watch, I'm happy to see you. If you're new to my channel, I'm a nurse. I need to lose 100 pounds, and that's what I'm going to do. If you'd like to follow my progress and watch my journey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I gave up sugar for 30 days. Me, a hardcore sugar addict, gave up sugar for 30 days. Initially, I was only going to do 2 weeks because I honestly wasn't sure what to expect. And I thought, well, I can do anything for 2 weeks. And I'll link that video up here somewhere. But because I found it easy to do and I liked how I was feeling, I went ahead and did an additional 2 weeks for now a total of 30 days. And aside from the first few days when my body was getting used to not having that sugar, I found it fairly easy to do. And I loved how my body was responding to it, especially. I really liked the fact that I didn't feel hunger. I thought I was going to be craving sweets, craving everything that I loved, and the exact opposite happened. I actually didn't even crave food. I felt like I was eating all the time before, constantly eating because I was constantly hungry. The exact opposite happened. In addition to feeling so much better, I also lost weight. Here are my week-by-week weight loss numbers. All right, you can see that these are my numbers here by the weeks, starting with my starting weight all the way through week 4, which is today. So my week 4 total weight loss was 2.1 pounds, 0.95 kilograms, and 0.15 stone, which was the exact same weight loss I had last week, for a total weight loss of 13.3 pounds, 6.8 kilograms, and 0.95 stone. This is awesome.
That is awesome. 13 pounds. She went from 272 to 259, completely obliterating the 260s. That is awesome sauce. Great job, Tressa.
I also took a before and after photo. Go ahead and check this out. Here are my side-by-side photos taken day 1 and day 28. This photo is where I see the most improvement, especially here. Doesn't seem to stick out as far. This also looks kind of bunched up here, where in here it looks a little bit better. So overall, and here it looks also a little bit better. This seems to be wanting to crawl over my underwear, or here it seems to not be as bad. So these photos look to me a lot better. I gave up sugar for 30 days. Was it worth it? Yes, for me, 100% worth it. The fact that I was able to, number one, complete this 30-day no sugar challenge and reset my body, but more importantly, learn how much better my body feels without all that sugar, it was invaluable to me. And going forward, I'm going to continue eating low to no sugar. I do enjoy eating fruit. I love berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. I want to be able to eat those things and not feel like I'm cheating. So I'm going to follow low sugar. Now, my FitnessPal app is what I've been putting my calories into, and it's saying that I can have 40 grams of sugar a day. The American Heart Association says I should have around 25. So I'm going to keep it around that 25 mark. And if I ever need to revisit this no sugar challenge again, I'm going to do it because, number one, I can do it. And I truly did love the results that it has given me and how I feel.
That is awesome. Just in case you're wondering, the good people at Hershey are happy with you eating as much junk food as you'd like, and the dentists are okay with it too. Kidding. Listen, why don't you grab your shoes? Let's go for a walk. Hey guys, this is Jesse. Listen, if you've been here with me for a while, I want to thank you so very much. You mean the world to me. And if you're new to the channel, I want you to know that I love walking around my neighborhood, and I'd like to invite you to join me. We have a few rules here, and here they are. Number one, we walk every day as much as we can. Number 2, we drink water every single day. Number 3, we avoid sugar every single day. Number 4, if you slip up on any of the first 3 rules, you simply obey the other 2. We call this the 2/3 rule, and if you follow this rule for the rest of your days, you'll have a lot more days to play around with. Thank you for joining us today on our walk. Won't you please consider joining me in this daily walk forever? Welcome to Walk, Talk, Vent. Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a happy Monday. It is Sunday for me right now, but when you guys see this, it'll be either Monday or Tuesday. So I wish you guys a happy start to your week. I took a deep dive about a year ago on the different drug cartels at the Mexican border. Partly because I live in Arizona, but partly because I found it fascinating. These different drug cartels will literally go to war against one another so that they have certain routes leading into the country for their operations. And the way these different drug cartel and gang cartels work is not like the gangs that we have here in America. Here in America, your gang will do a drive-by shooting, right? And the opposite gang that you just shot up will repay the favor, right? It's been like that since the 80s with the Bloods and the Crips, right? And we have all these little areas in the country where there's gang warfare, right? But today what I heard is really crazy, because when I took a deep dive into the drug cartels, they're not okay with just shooting you. They will grab you, abduct you, torture you, cut off your ears, de-skin your body, and hang you up over a freeway bridge so that everybody in the world can see what happens when you cross them. So fast forward till today. And by the way, there are some really graphic videos on YouTube that actually show people when they're getting kind of tortured and what have you. And imagine being boiled alive in a vat of water or oil or whatever the heck they'll boil you alive in. These gangs do not mess around. Now, I'm using a lot of assumptions here, so I could be totally off, but I'm not off about that. These cartels do not play. They take gangsterism to a whole nother level. These guys make the mafia look like very nice kids, right? These guys make the American gangs look like nothing, right? These gangs and the cartels are like military funded. I mean, they have some weapons and some manpower like you wouldn't believe. So why do I bring that up? Well, today there was a gang shooting in Chicago, and at first I thought it was a backyard party that was hit, but apparently it's actually a neighborhood called Back of the Yards in Chicago. 11 people were shot. I believe it was 6 adults and 5 children. An 8-year-old girl or 8-year-old child, excuse me, I don't know if it was a boy or girl, was killed. 4 kids were shot that are injured. And if I'm off by a number or two, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that we have Hispanic people that were shot, and it's gang related. If it's a local American Hispanic community, right? In other words, if they were born and raised here in America, right? Or if they've been here in America, then they probably don't have ties to these cartels. But if this was some sort of gang-related situation where you have an American-style gang shooting at maybe a migrant gang, which is what I kind of fear because, of course, the news kept it pretty vague. in the first news story I heard, they didn't even mention that it was a Hispanic girl, right? It wasn't until the second one that I saw that they kind of said, okay, these were Hispanics that were shot, and in case of the 8-year-old girl killed. You could see repercussions like we've never seen before. I don't know if anyone else is talking about this, but imagine, if you will, that Hispanic gang maybe is MS-13 related, or maybe they're related to these various cartels. You could see American gangsters relieved of their skin, de-skinned, ears missing, limbs missing, and strung up over bridges and highway overpasses. We've never seen stuff like that in this country. You could start seeing that in middle of America, Chicago. And I know that the OGs in Chicago might think they're something special, but you're not funded like these gangs down south of the border. You have no idea what can of worms you could potentially be opening up, because we're talking your family members could be de-skinned and hung up for everyone to see. And if that starts happening in America, oh my God, how scary is that? See, that's a problem that I have with the border situation. Because I live in Arizona, we talk about it more than somebody might if they live in middle of America, Kansas or Nebraska, right? But the reality is, the gangs down here don't play. And I'm not talking about the Arizona gangs. I'm talking about just on the south side of the border. So again, this could be nothing. It could boil over. This could be just a local Hispanic gang, and they might have been attacked by other Hispanics. But all I know is right now in Chicago and various cities around the country, there's a lot of racial tension from the overabundance of migrants that are coming in. Okay? And I look at people as people because I have faith, and I believe that we are all children of God, so to speak. I believe that we're all related regardless of our color, because we are, right? But this is really a scary, scary situation. Now let's just go this route. For some reason, in this world, or in this country at least, people think that it's okay to shoot into parties. Nobody cares if it's kids you're shooting or kids that you're killing, which is just awful, because when you kill a child, you kill a generation. That child might have grown up to have 5, 10 kids, 15, 20 grandchildren. Literally, after 100 years or so, that one child that you killed might have been responsible for creating a town of people. And you didn't give them a chance to even enjoy becoming a 9-year-old. Did you guys know that every day they're finding like 2,000 to 3,000 Chinese men coming in from south of the border? Does anybody think that's odd? You know, I've never, in my times that I've visited Mexico and been, in Tucson and areas like that, I never saw a high concentration of Chinese people. But if you start having 3,000 people come into the border on a daily basis from China, and they're all males, what the heck is that all about? And by the way, there's a piece of me that likes talking about these current things, but the current thing in this country is always a negative thing to talk about. And I want your walks to be something where you can zone out that negative stuff and you can really work on yourself. I mean, wouldn't it be great if your life was such where you had no problems, where you could focus on gang warfare in Chicago? Wouldn't that be great? Unfortunately, we don't have the bandwidth to do that. You've got problems with your kids. Hi, puppy.
You've got problems with your family, you've got problems with your work or your career or your job, right? There's so many things to focus on. We don't have time to focus on these bigger problems. So when you elect people into office, whether it be the president or whether it be a state senator or state congressman, it doesn't have to be on a national level, it could just be on the state level. Most of our lives are determined at the state level, you know. Who cares what's happening 3 states over, right? What's important is your city, your jurisdiction, your county, and ultimately your state, right? And so with these big problems like guns and gangs and immigration and what's right and wrong on the city or state level, you know, you're kind of hoping that your elected officials that you vote in can look after your best interest. But then you end up finding out that everybody in Congress or the Senate, and again, this is on the national level, but I assume it happens at the state level too, you end up finding out that when they take office, you know, they're worth maybe a couple $100,000, you know, they've got a home, they've got some money in the bank. But then how is it that after just a few short years of being an elected official, they're all worth millions of dollars? Why aren't they all probed, and why don't we find out why they're all excessively rich whenever they're done with their government service? Being a part of the government should be no different than being part of the military. It should be seen as an esteemed thing that people do. You know, thank you for your service. You're a congressman. Would you ever thank any congressman or senator for their service? You know, why are there people in Congress and the Senate that have been there for 20, 30, 40 years? And how come you people never vote them out? You know, we should not be happy when someone's a senator or a congressman from our state for 30 years. We should be ashamed. Nothing ever changes. All we do is complain. Taxes get worse and worse every year. Crime seems to, I don't know if it gets worse, but it gets played up in the media more and more every year, which gives us the appearance that it's worse. Some states and cities, as you know, play a horrible game where they make it where certain crimes are no longer crimes. You know, for example, if you steal and it's not over $1,000, they don't report it, right? And so what happens is you have these bogus numbers where they come out and they tell us that crime is lower than ever, and everybody and their mother knows it's BS. You can't sit there and eliminate crimes from being crimes and then say, hey, crime's lower. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing stories of people that have gone out and killed, and then you find out that, oh, by the way, they were just released last year from a gun conviction, and this, that, and the other. They were released with no bail. You are literally you are a criminal if you're one of these states' attorney generals that are okay with this, or prosecuting DAs. Ugh. And these judges, oh my God. Wouldn't it be great if a judge signed off to let a criminal out on probation or on this moneyless bail? Wouldn't it be great if that judge actually had to do a jail sentence if they made a stupid mistake like that? Because these mistakes that I hear about from these judges and these local jurisdictions, they're criminal. When you have somebody that's literally taking out guns and threatening people and threatening to kill them, and then you let them right back on the street, and then lo and behold, they actually go and do what they say and kill somebody, hello, you should no longer be a judge. And if you are a judge and you're making these horrible type decisions, there should be some painful repercussions for you. We need to start holding judges accountable. We need to start doing audits on judges. You know, how many criminals did you let on the street? Oh, I let 600 criminals over a 5-year period. Okay, how many of those criminals ended up doing something that was heinous? Oh, 482 of them. Okay, you get to go spend a year or two in jail and think about what you've done. We're getting here by the park. I'm supposed to meet up with my daughter and have a meal with her and her family. So I get to see my granddaughter. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys are enjoying a quick walk before work, or maybe you just got home from work and you're taking a walk, you know. Always nice to get out. I think for many of you, at least for Elaine and Jamie and Lupe, I know that this is like the start of your second month, right? We've finished a month together. This is the month where at the beginning of the month it'll feel like it's been, right? Like nothing's really happening to our bodies. But 3 or 4 weeks from now is when you're going to actually start to see your first 4 or 5, 6 pounds melt away. And then you're going to start to see a steady cutting of pounds. So literally every week you're going to lose like 2 or 3 pounds. It's not going to happen this first week, but by 3 or 4 weeks from now, because what happens with this is from day 45 to day 90, it's almost like you're going to feel like a different person. You're going to start to feel skinny. You're going to start to need a belt because your shorts and pants are going to start falling off. And I'm not joking about that. I showed you guys a video when I was 34. I was wearing size 36 pants, which just a couple of months before that were fitting me fine. But I was losing weight like crazy, and I had to take my belt and like tie it into a knot. Wouldn't that be a great feeling if your pants are all of a sudden falling off your body? You're thinking, no, Jesse, that's not a good feeling at all. I want my clothes to fit. No, you want your clothes to be nice and loose because it shows that your body's changing. Are you sleeping better at night? Your walk and drinking water and avoiding sugar, that might lead you to sleeping better. I always try to tell people, you know, some people say, what are furry teeth? You know, when you wake up and you got a film on your teeth, you know? If you wake up after you've quit sugar, you'll notice your teeth don't feel so gnarly in the morning. Does it mean you can quit brushing? Of course not. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. 2 or 3 times a day, brush those teeth. You know, especially as you get in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, because that's when your genetics do kind of take over and people will start losing their teeth. You know, that might be one of the things where I might be giving Ozempic and weight loss surgery folks a hard time, and it might not be completely on the medication or the surgery. It might be on your genetics. A lot of times when people hit their 30s, 40s, and 50s, whether they're on Ozempic or weight loss surgery recoverers or not, they'll just start losing their teeth. Remember, if you have one cavity, like a wicked cavity in the back of your mouth, get it taken care of, because tooth decay is contagious, okay? So that one tooth literally is going to start affecting the other teeth around it. And if you do have any type of acid reflux, and again, it doesn't have anything to do with Ozempic or Wegovy or weight loss surgery. People can have acid reflux, you know, because they have acid reflux. And if you do, and you combine that with teeth that are starting to go bad, you're going to start having some major dental issues. This also goes back to what I was telling you guys about trying to put $25 to $50 a week into your savings accounts. Because what are you going to do when you go to get your teeth removed or something done at the dentist office, and then you realize, oh, holy moly, this thing's going to cost me $3 or $4 grand. And if you want dentures and veneers and stuff like that, those things can get into the 5-figure range. There are people, I don't know if you guys remember, but chronically Stephanie was saying that her teeth, to get them replaced, $23,000. I don't know about you, but that sounds like half of a new car nowadays. If you have to spend 23 grand on your teeth, that's not a good thing. So by avoiding sugar and drinking a lot of water, you're probably going to keep your acid levels in your mouth at an all-time low. So there's some good qualities to living as clean as you can when it comes to sugar. Remember, sugar has almost like a sand or a grinding, on a micro level, sugar almost grinds away your teeth, right? wears down your enamel. And that leads to little micro holes or micro cavities where, you know, cavities can take place, can take foot. And I haven't had tooth pain in a while, but you know it when you have it. Tooth pain is not fun. And it might be good to go down to your local dentist office and see if you can join their plan. You know, not everybody has dental insurance, right? But almost every dental place that you go to has their own little dental club or dental plan. And a lot of times if you end up going, they'll still sign you up for their dental plan. So I suppose you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but you might still want to go just to get, you know, an annual tooth cleaning or what have you. Just know that when you're there, they're going to tell you that you need a deep cleaning and you need this, that, and the other, and they're going to start talking with you about the 4 quadrants of your mouth. You know, keep in mind they are a business. And what they're saying is probably true. You probably do need a deep cleaning, but I don't know, I've heard some iffy stuff about deep cleaning, that when they start detaching your gums and getting up there to clean, sometimes people end up having tooth problems after a deep cleaning. Now, I guarantee you there's going to be some dentists that eventually chime in and say, you are so wrong about that. Look, I still think people should go and see what you have to say. I'm just simply warning them. You're probably going to try to talk them into a deep cleaning, and when you start talking about deep cleanings, it's not like, you know, hey, rinse your mouth out with this solution. It's when they take needle to gums and start numbing your gums so they can really get underneath your gums and get a deep cleaning in there. So it's not necessarily pain-free. From what I understand, it's a little painful. But I've also seen some videos where they can do that with like a laser now. Morning. And so I don't know, maybe in the future if I need a deep cleaning, maybe I'll go that route, see if I can find a dentist that uses the laser. I'm one of these guys, I like when technology can be kind of intertwined with procedures. When I had my double hernia surgery, I got it done by the Da Vinci robot. Now my surgeon was behind a video game console, and he did the movements with his hands, right? And the console that he's looking at, they were able to see my area here in a 3-dimensional like video game. And so his hands never touched my area where he had to go in for the double hernia. Instead, they blew up my lower abdomen area with gas, literally gas, and it kind of balloons you up where they can then come in with the robotic hands and they can do whatever they need to do. And so my wounds from surgery, if you had a hernia surgery in the past, like orthoscopic surgery, you have a smaller scar than if you had a full-blown, you know, cut up surgery, right? But you still have a scar that's probably yay big from arthroscopic surgery. I had robotic surgery done by the Da Vinci robot, and my scars were the size of Tic Tacs. I had one below the belly button, one over here to the side, one to the opposite side. But imagine having a surgery done, and then you wake up and there's like no wounds on your body. And then those Tic Tac little scars or wounds, they ended up closing to about like 1/3 of their size, and they ended up getting lighter and lighter to the point now where I don't even know if a person could tell I was ever cut open, you know? So if you're thinking about getting a surgery, make sure you do a couple of things. Number one, read as many reviews as you can about your doctor. Determine if some reviews are way too vague to be truthful. Because remember what I told you, when I was going in for my surgery on my tailbone, I would read the doctor's reviews, and all of his 5-star reviews literally looked fake, like they were written by friends. Meanwhile, all of his 0 or 1 or 2-star reviews, people put time and effort into those. So that's what you want to do too. look in all the reviews for your surgeon or any doctor that you have. To be honest with you, my family doctor right now, Dr. Parker, he's not as good as Dr. Turner was. Dr. Turner had a decade's worth of experience already under his belt. I'd like to think Dr. Turner would never have sent me to a surgeon with such bad reviews like Dr. Parker did. Maybe I should get a new doctor. That's interesting about the human brain, right? When you don't listen to your doctor and you check out reviews and you decide to go with a different surgeon than the one your doctor recommended, there's a couple of ways you can go about it. You can kind of say, I'm just going to overlook what my doctor did and I'm just going to find my own surgeon, right? You can go with the no harm, no foul policy. Or if you're like me, those thoughts just kind of fester in your brain, like, I can't believe this SOB was going to send me to this horrible surgeon. And so the more I talk about it on the show here, the more I'm thinking maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to ditch Dr. Parker. I need to get a doctor that has my best interest at hand. And who knows, maybe this is spurring you to think about the same thing with your doctor. Is your doctor just like, in and out of your doctor visit in 30 seconds? Hey, how you doing, Joyce? Oh, good. See you later. Bye. Maybe that's not the doctor to have. Isn't it funny how when you call certain doctors, their nurse will get back to you within an hour? You've got a good relationship. They know who you are when you say, hey, this is Helen or this is Bill, and they know who you are and you've got a legit good relationship with them. If you have that, that's the type of doctor you want. My doctor is the type that you leave them a message on a voicemail for a number where people never answer. And then they tell you right on the voicemail itself, if this is an emergency, hang up and dial 911. God, why does every doctor's office have to say that? Oh yeah, because we're silly and we don't realize that. Anyway, you call this office, you never get a human being. You get a message that tells you to call 911, otherwise it could take up to 72 hours to get a response. And then these guys actually have the nerve to make you wait 48 to 72 hours for a response. And it's like, Jesus, Jesse, wake up, get yourself a better doctor. It's one of these places where you go in and they basically make a living out of constantly having new patients. And usually once patients wake up to the idea that this isn't the best doctor, it's no big deal because they've already replaced you with 3 brand new people, kind of like a patient mill, right? Which reminds me of the puppy mills. Do you guys remember about 15, 20 years ago, they started really cracking down on these puppy mills? They really took a hard look at the puppies and dogs that were being sold in malls. And I don't know if you guys got this, but what I took away from that 10 or 15 years ago was that it's going to become a little bit more difficult to find puppies in the mall. But I was wrong. When I go to my Arrowhead Mall here where I live, down the street, they have dogs that are on sale for $4,000. There is something very, very wrong about that. When you're taking out a financing plan and you're paying for your puppy for the next 2, 3, 5 years, however long those financing plans are, God, that's criminal. That's awful. If you're a dog breeder and stuff, God bless you. If you're breeding through the newspaper and stuff, that's one thing. But God, if you own or a franchisee in one of these puppy places in the mall where you're selling a puppy that, God, puppies should be sold for like $500 or less. And if it's a special dog, maybe $1,000, right? But when you're selling every little Labrador retriever for $4,000, ridiculous. Oh, a St. Bernard, $4,500? Get out of here. St. Bernards haven't saved anyone's lives in hundreds of years. You want me to pay that much for them? I don't know if you guys remember, but remember St. Bernards are the ones where they used to have a little bit of alcohol or water or something on their neck, right? And they would go out and rescue and save people. Well, your St. Bernard can't do that. Your St. Bernard eats a lot and takes really big poops. That's what your St. Bernard does. Why the heck would anyone want to pay $4,000 for a St. Bernard? We had a St. Bernard when I was younger. It was my mom's boyfriend's family dog, and it was so big they would let me ride it like a horse because I was so little. Such a nice mellow dog. What kind of dog was in Cujo? Was that a St. Bernard? I forget. Anyway, the scary dogs to me are the German Shepherds. God, they are always growling. And they growl in that like I'm ready to bite you sort of way. St. Bernards, they're more mellow. At least the ones I've met. I'm sure that if you raise them mean, they can be mean. So anyway, listen, I think it's great that we're going into month 2. If you don't have to work today, or if you don't work, period, see if you can start adding an extra walk in the middle of your day before it gets too hot out. I want to wish you guys a wonderful day out there. Stay positive, keep your head up. Remember, we're not all afflicted by gang warfare and stuff, but we got to pray for our brothers and sisters in Chicago. It sounds to me like it's a regular, everyday part of their life, which is horrible. But with that being said, have a beautiful day. We'll talk soon.